drafted and enacted under the last government. The number of long-term unemployed shows a big drop. The numbers at work rise sharply. Major deals cut at the Washington summit, but the talks are dogged by old ghosts. And 15 nail-biting minutes left at Lansdowne Road, and it's all to play for. Good evening and welcome. The Special Criminal Court has sharply rebuked both the parliamentary draftspeople and the enactment of legislation which abolished false imprisonment as a common law offence. Parliamentary draftspeople frame the wording for legislation. A flaw in an act passed by the last government, which covers the charge of kidnapping, meant the court couldn't consider 3 such charges brought against Dubliner Joseph Kavanagh. He was charged with kidnapping the former chief executive of the National Irish Bank, Jim Lacey, his wife and his daughter. Tonight, the Department of Justice, Equality and Law Reform has said the Minister, John O'Donoghue, in consultation with the Attorney-General, is urgently considering the implications of today's court decision with a view to rectifying the position.
Joseph Kavanagh from Benbulben Road, Crumlin, was charged with kidnapping banker Jim Lacey, his wife and daughter, in November 1993. On the indictment, he was charged with false imprisonment, contrary to common law. But the new 1997 Non-Fatal Offences Against the Person Act abolishes false imprisonment as a common law offence and provides for the statutory offence of false imprisonment. Barry White is the senior counsel who raised the issue with the Special Criminal Court.
The position is that the offence of false imprisonment is abolished. There is no legislation providing for the situation where an offence might have been committed prior to the abolition and the trial coming on subsequent to the abolition of the offence.
And is this a one-off, or are we potentially now facing, until this act is amended, are we potentially facing a number of similar charges that may have to be thrown out by judges?
Well, I don't know what is in fact in the pipeline, but clearly if there are cases of false imprisonment where somebody has been charged with an offence that might have been committed prior to the enactment, then in my view, yes, that is going to fall too, or potentially will fall.
Because of the flaw in the act, Mr. Justice Barr said the court could not consider the first 3 charges against Joseph Kavanagh. He said the court regarded it as surprising and most unfortunate that those that drafted the act had made such an obvious error of such a serious nature. Joseph Kavanagh had always denied the kidnap charges and claimed that he had himself been kidnapped and coerced by the gang. However, the court rejected Mr. Kavanagh's story, describing him as a voluntary collaborator with the others. While they said he was not a gang leader, he was a member, and he faced 3 further charges related to the kidnapping that the court was able to deal with. He was given 12 years in prison for the theft of cash from Eugene Keenan, 5 years for demanding cash with menaces, and 12 years for having a gun with intent to commit false imprisonment on November 2nd, 1993.